lot of people ask me, how did you do it? What does it take to turn 0.5 to six figures, almost closing in on seven figures? I'm going to give you guys the strategy that I did and the stuff that no one else is going to tell you. Everybody gives you snips and bits, but no one really tells you how it's done. A lot of you guys ask me questions on TG, ask me questions on X. How do you do it? How do you turn 0.5 to six soul? How is that possible? Currently, right now, I am one of the best callers in CT, and I don't even consider myself a caller. I just want you guys to become rich. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I did it, how I think you could do it, and how I think everybody else could do it, especially right now when things are blowing up. So let's go ahead and dive into it and talk about it. First and foremost, you guys are going to need tools, and it's extremely important that you have the right tools. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that the tools I'm going to tell you guys are all free. You don't have to pay for anything. And I'm always against you paying, okay? Because I literally did what I did completely free. No call groups, no paid groups, no wallet tracking, none of that. It's just completely free. I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. And by the time you get done watching this video, you should be on your way to converting whatever amount you start off with, 2xing it, 3xing it, and maybe, ending up in 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures. So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about it. So one of the tools that I recommend and that I use every single day and how I'm able to spot coins every single day is using Bullx. Now, currently right now, they're coming up with a new one called Bullx Neon. So I would highly recommend, if you guys want to get whitelisted, want to skip the line, and want to access this tool right now, follow me on TG, because that's where I'm going to be dropping the link so you guys can get whitelisted and skip that line to get access to Bullx Neo. So make sure you do that right now. Now, one of the biggest things with Bullx Neo is the ability of being access to this Neo Vision. And I'm going to explain why this is extremely important and how you'll be able to identify places just like I do every single time. But if you're still new, highly recommend you follow me on X, follow me on TG. I make calls there every single time. Let me give you guys a quick example that you could literally verify if you go to my TG or if you follow me on X. I literally just called this one called ALCH. I gave this call, guys, like down here, right? 2 mil, like I think it was like 1.7, 1.5, 2 mil range, ran up to 130. All right, 130 mil. That is a lot of multiples you have there. All right. Recently, this week, we called one called this one. No, not one. I think it was K1. K1. And you can literally verify this. I'm giving you these because you literally just go in right now and check it every night. I actually called this. I called this at 1.7, sitting at 10 mil. It ran up all the way to 12 mil. I also called QGG, and this one once again called at 1 mil, and it's at sitting like almost heading to 10 mil right now, real fast here. The one that a lot of people know me by is by calling goats. I literally called goats, and this is because these are the ones you could literally go verify on on X and on TG. So I literally called this at 2 mil, and I was telling people buy it, buy it, buy it. Before anybody got into, like, before there was an AI meta, I was there before anybody even realized there was an AI meta. So this one ran up to 1 bill. I called Peanut, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Peanut is about. I keep saying this is still going to run up. So I called Peanut at 20 mil. You see people buying and buying. And if you're wondering, what are these happy faces? So these are all wallets that I personally know the person that, that has that wallet. And I just like to know when they buy in. I don't track wallets to buy. I just want to know if they're buying, like who's buying. I just want to know that because I want to know if they're a cheat or if they're not a cheat. Okay. So, that's one of the most important things. I'll teach you guys that in a separate video. The other one I call is Book of Memes. That's kind of like how I made a ton of money in the sense of I turned my 0.5 into a lot of capital by being able to identify that early. And a lot of people call me multiple names, Alpha before the Alpha, Go, whatever you want to call me. But I am ahead of the curve when it comes to the metas. So with that being said, and a little bit of introduction about myself, if you don't know who I am, let's go ahead and dive in on what you want to do. So one of the most important things is you want to identify how much money you're willing to put in here, because I'm going to take it everybody's starting from scratch, and that you are okay with like not losing your mortgage, not losing your rent. Basically think of this like money you've been saving up, that you really don't care if it goes down, right? Like just think about it like if, for example, you were to buy a video game. I'm a big gamer, so let's say games are like $70, right? And you would say, you know what? I'm not gonna buy this game. I'm gonna put those $70 into meme coins. And just think about it this way. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you guys real quick, and let's say it off. you're gonna start off with 1 soul. I'm gonna think you guys have a little bit more money than what I had when I started. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete that. Let's go from brush. Let's go to Sharpie, and let's say you have 1 soul, and this 1 soul currently right now is equivalent to 230. And what I would like, what I recommend every single time is you want to take this 1 soul and you want to divide this into 10. Now, this is my personal way of the way I do it. You could divide this into 5, you could divide this into 10. So that pretty much gives you a total of 0.1 10 times. And what that's going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to put this 0.1 in 10 different plays. Okay, what's beautiful about this is that you're going to be able to put 0.1 in one place, 0.1 in another place, 0.1 in another one, and like that, and so forth and so forth. And usually what tends to happen, out of this 10 plays that you put in, let's say you have a 80% to 70% that you make good calls. What no one tells you is how can you avoid losing your money, when to sell, when not to sell. I'm going to give you the strategy that works for me and that I'm pretty sure will work for you, that I teach on my TG on X every single time, and that is the 2X strategy. The way that works, it's super simple, guys. Basically, you're going to buy a coin at 0.1. All right, you're going to buy 0.1. Let's say you bought Peanut, right? And you put 0.1 in Peanut. Once Peanut 2X, which is basically means that now you have from 0.1, you have 0.2. What you're going to do is you're going to remove, we're going to put the green here, you're going to remove your entry, which was 0.1. All right, 0.1. All right, you remove that, so you cashed out. That's profit. Okay. Now you still theoretically in this play you have 0.1. Okay, we still have 0.1 in Peanut. That's still in there, right? So we're still in the coin here. Now the thing is, you knowing when do you want to exit, right? Because what's going to happen is this coin is going to keep going up or it's going to go down. Usually the majority, if you guys are following me on TG, you guys see my win rate is crazy. But if you guys are in some plays, you're going to notice that the coin's going to go up, and that could 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X, 10X, 20X, 100X. This is going to be basically dependent on your tolerance of how long you want to wait to get this higher, or how long you want to wait to see if it goes down, right? So basically, let's say we got a good play at 5X, right? So basically now from your 0.1 that you already have, this one now gives you an additional, all right, 0.5. So now you're going to cash out, and now your equivalent to this is you ended up with 0.6 from your initial play. The great thing I like about this 2X strategy is the fact that you don't have that thing where like, oh my goodness, I'm losing money. Oh my goodness, the shark's going down. Oh my goodness, I'm going to sell. You don't have that pressure. The reason you don't have that pressure is because you already took your initial. If this goes up, you're okay with it. If it goes down, well, you lost. And let's say from the 0.1, you end up with 0.005. You're still going to end up positive, but you're already safe. And that's why I teach this strategy. Now, a lot of people, want to like YOLO it and be like, bro, I'm riding this all the way till it hits like a billion. I wouldn't recommend that. And I'm going to tell you the strategies I did. What I did is I did this multiple times for weeks until I had a large amount of capital to be able to do the second step we're going to talk about. So let's say after you do this for a week, you do this for a month, you now have from 1 soul, now you're at 5 soul. Okay, so this is where things get tricky, because after you go from 1 to 5, that's a big change. Like if we go here and we check what the big difference is, that from 5 to from 1 to 5, that's $1,000. Now you have $1,000. You're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna put 1,000 into another play. You do not want to do that. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure, first and foremost, that you're doing this the right way. So once again, guys, I'm gonna say this again because I'm gonna give you the second step of to be able to make sure this works after this one. So let's go ahead and clear this one. Let's go and make a new one. What we're gonna do is making sure you have the right tools, because now that you have 5 soul, now you really need to dig in. So the first thing is you want to get Bullx. If you don't have Bullx, download it right now. Link is down below. Follow me on TG so you can get whitelisted. Number 2 is you want to make sure you have a Twitter account. And the thing is, you want to make sure you're following the right people on Twitter. I would recommend you follow me. Link is down below. There are a lot of really good other people that are on CT that are really good KOLs. But there's also a lot of bad apples, and you just want to make sure you follow the right people, and you should be good. Plus, you also want to do a thing called work for your bag. So whenever you get in a play, you want to make sure you're tweeting about it. So people, the more eyes you have on the wallet, the not on the wallet, but sorry, the more eyes you have on the coin, the more other people are also going to buy it. So those are the two tools I recommend. Another tool that I recommend is Telegram, and we're going to go over those tools real quick here. And the reason I recommend Telegram, if you don't have a Telegram account, you're going to want to make one ASAP. And the reason you want to make one ASAP is because you're going to want to make sure you have the following tools. Now, like I said, I'm going to give you guys tools that are completely free. Okay, you can completely free on this, and it's very awesome. So one of the cool things you could do is when you get on TG, you're going to want to make a group, and you're going to want to add these two bots. One's called Rick, one's called Fanis. And the great thing about these bots is that they're going to be able to help you identify coins that are not good. Of course, there are other really good bots out there that are going to be able to do that, but some of them are paid, and I'm pretty sure if you only have one soul, you don't want to risk another soul or your only soul into paying alpha groups or all like that. Usually tend to usually has exit liquidity, and you want to avoid that. So I'm going to give you guys the ones that I want. So you want to make a group, you want to add Rick, you want to add Fanis. Another really good one is called Trench Radar, and what this is going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to come in here, go into your Neon Vision, and let's say, for example, this one, right? The great thing about Neo Vision is now you're able to see everything off the spot. So a lot of these things you don't really have to use a TG, and I'm currently working with the team so they could keep adding more, so we don't have to use TG as often. But with this one, let's say you can literally just copy the CA, you go to Trench Radar, and you could see the coin is bundled. And the reason why you want to check if the coin is bundled is because you want to know if any other wallets that are not the dev wallets bought at the same time, and it's a big bundle. For example, you see right here, this one literally says, if we go and check that one out, literally says right here that there is 32% of the token held by another set of wallets, and that is a red flag. You want to make sure that this is low, low, low. Okay, the lower this is, the better. The higher it is, the worse it is. So this is a really good one to check. Another thing you could also check is you could go to the bot checker, that's the name of my group, where I added Rick and Ryan Fans. You could actually check if the person has used like in the Twitter account, right? So you can see if that coin has a Twitter. So we can go here. This is called chilled. No, so this is actually a coin that's about a giant panda is making a debut. So this actually might be pretty good. Not gonna lie, this might be a really good entry. We're gonna keep an eye on this. I'm just gonna click on it just so I could watch the chart. But with that being said, if it was a coin that had a Twitter account, you can literally come here and put the Twitter either on for Rick, and it'll tell you if that Twitter account has been reused by using that command. It's super important that you check that. Sometimes like when I'm looking at coins, I skipped some of these steps because I'm kind of used to it now. But it's extremely important that you still do your due diligence, because even though I'm pretty experienced now, sometimes I skip it and I kind of get rugged, and it's not, you want to make sure you avoid that and you're covering your steps. So you want to make sure the Twitter has been reused. If it has been reused by multiple accounts, that's a big red flag as well. So you just kind of want to keep an eye on the actual chart. With that being said, after that, you should be completely good. Those are some simple tools that you could actually use and implement to help you figure out if the coin is good or not. And I have other videos kind of where I go over that. So for example, if you're looking at this one right here, this one just came out right now. So this guy holds a lot of tokens. I'm gonna actually put this in the 5-second chart here. And the problem I have with this is that I could literally get rugged. So what I'm gonna do here, just for video purpose, I'm gonna put 0.1, which is the strategy we're using. I don't want to buy this high up, but I mean, it could be a runner. So let's go ahead and put this at 0.1 here. Didn't buy because there's a lot of people buying. I hate buying this high. Let's go here at 0.1. Oh, no, that's a lot. 0.1. Let's go ahead and buy here. It's in a dip. 400. Okay, so now we're in like around here, which is perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and do the let's add my trade so I can see where my entry's at here. And let's add my order. So I kind of bought in like at 420. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on this. If we lose the money, we lost the money. But this is just a simple video. What we want to do is now we're gonna set a limit, which is extremely important, which is a sell limit. And what I want to do here is our sell limit would probably be 952. What I want to do at 952 is I want to take out 50%. I'm going to sell that. And then I don't have to worry about it. I could also go ahead and put a limit. This is why I recommend this tool, guys. It's so good. I could say, you know what? If it dips to 325, we're going to put it like right here. If this is 305, I want to sell all of it. Just sell all of it. I'm going to lose, but I'm perfectly fine with losing. And we're gonna leave it. We're gonna come back to this coin in just a little bit and see how well. So, with that being said, um, that was just a quick example because I see another one came out called Kiki. The other one's AAA, ANNN. So we don't really know the name. I didn't do too much research on that, but I'm just kind of jumping in here, showing you guys exactly what we're doing. So with that being said, now that you have the 5 SOL, let's pull this back up. Now that you have the 5 SOL, let's go to the paint here. Now that you have the 5 SOL, this is where things get a little bit tricky because what I did is I did the following. I went ahead and got 1 SOL out of this one. So I got 1 SOL. And then from my 4 SOL, okay, I did the play that you want to make sure you do. And that play is moving them to a coin that has more likelihood of sustainability. Because what tends to happen is the majority of these coins that come out, they're either going to run or rug. But there's certain coins that are going to live for longer periods of time. And that is when you need to identify which coins are those. For example, I give you an example of GOAT. Let me give you an example of GOAT. Let's go back to GOAT now. If we go back to GOAT, this would be a perfect example, okay? So we go back to GOAT. I knew this coin was going to blow up, okay? So I knew this coin was going to like do huge numbers. So if I had that 5 SOL, what I would have done is when I saw it at 2 mil, I would have taken my 4 SOL and I would have put 3 SOL into GOAT, okay? And that was at 2 mil. And basically what this is going to do, it's going to give me a sense of sustainability due to the fact that I know that coin is going to go higher. I know that the risk is less because I know I'm not going to get completely rugged. All right. So I know for 100% sure, not everything's 100% sure, but I know there is a less risk factor for me to get rugged on GOAT than there is for me to get rugged on a big coin. And what I do with my other coin is this other coin, I pretty much leave it in my portfolio in case I see another dip on GOAT. Okay, and that is like, for example, if it went from 2 mil and dropped to like 1.5, all right, I go ahead and I put my other SOL at that 1.5 so it can give me a better entry. Now, the reason I do that is because I know for certain that coin is going to do well. And this is not something that's going to happen in an hour. It's not going to happen in a day. This is literally something that, it's going to take a while for it to happen, for like get a major dip. And that is basically what I did. So what tends to happen is, since these coins are so good, for example, Michi, Selfie, all these coins that have been on for a while, they're going to allow me to turn, pretty much that, 4 SOL, right? That 4 SOL into a 10x. All right, because that's what I'm looking for, those plays. I'm looking for 10x. So basically, I went from doing my 4 SOL, turning it into 40. Okay, so now I have more power to play with. But in the meantime, this is happening. This 10x is happening. I am still trading with my 1 SOL, getting another 5 SOL out of that play. So that's the strategy that I did. It's basically, you just want to make sure you're growing this portfolio. And every single time you're putting it in, investing it in coins that are doing pretty well. I do videos mostly monthly, every 2 weeks, on coins that I feel like do really well. For example, I've been telling people, yo guys, buy loose. Loose is actually pretty good. Loose is gonna send. I've been telling people buy Fred. For example, buy Chill Guy. Buy certain coins that I have a complete watch list that I go over and tell you guys, yo, these are going to do really well. These are going to do really well because these are the ones that are going to give you the possibility to get that 4x, 5x, 10x, 1000x if you're entering and holding a little bit longer. Of course, they're not just going to blow up, but they are going to do pretty well. And as we see here, guys, my Anna coin got to 600. So we're almost at, I don't even think it hasn't hit my threshold here. But if we're looking at my P&L here, right now, it's kind of funny. Like, you're seeing the chart going up, right, as we're talking about it. If you see my P&L here and we go to market, right now I'm up 1.6. So I'm still not 2xing, but I'm gonna do right there is it's gonna go up, right? So we're gonna see this in real time. If it actually does that, it's gonna go up there, and this could actually do pretty good because it's a giant panda. I haven't seen a giant panda before, and it was almost about to sell here, but as you see, guys, it's getting picked up really, really fast. Unfortunately, I couldn't call this in my group because we're live trading right now. But you guys see how you're able to identify really fast. And this coin, I didn't have time to buy, I didn't have time to be like, oh crap, like, I have to do so much research. It was like a quick, entry point, which I could have gotten a better entry point here at, 3.5. And I could have bought more, but I didn't have that research time because as you see right here, it literally just dipped. So right now, it's just pretty much looking at the chart, see if it's sustaining, if it's not sustaining, if it's going to be a good coin, if it's not going to be a runner. So we'll find out eventually, like in a couple hours. But with that being said, that is what you want to do, guys. And that's what's allowed me to go from 0.5 all the way to a 6 fig, almost getting close to a 7 fig, due to the fact that I've been doing this strategy for almost, I started back in like late February, so early March. Pretty much whenever Pump Fund came out, that's when I started. So it's going to be like, about 7 months that I've been trading, and I've been able to do this pretty much, kind of replicate this over and over and over, to where I'm playing it risky, but I'm also safe. And the great thing is, like, on my channel, I not only call gamble plays, which are like, for example, this is a gamble play. This is like, okay, you could either lose it all, or you could, kind of blow up, right? And then I call conviction plays, which are plays that I feel like hold this a little bit longer. It's gonna, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but you will get your profit back, into like a 5x, 6x, 10x, 12x, depending on how much X's you want to get out and how high you think a coin's gonna run. Now, like I said, there are a lot of free tools, and you should always use the free tools. But one of the things I highly recommend, get yourselves a Bullx account, and you want to make sure, I'm gonna be making an update video on the on the slippage fees, on all this stuff, and kind of going over how you set your order settings, so you guys know exactly, how to trade and how to make sure you're not losing a lot of money when you don't have a lot of money, and how once you have a good capital, when it's super important that you get into the place fast, so you could go ahead and get out. So right now we're gonna let this ride. Either we're gonna lose or we're gonna win. Up here, but it looks pretty promising. If I put this in the 1 minute chart, it looks pretty solid so far. So we'll see how this goes, and you guys will be able to identify it. So remember, it's ANN. It's the one that launched faster than anyone. So let's see. Let's hear how the other one's doing, because there was another one that came out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this helps you out. If you have any additional questions, drop them in the comment section down below. The most important thing I can tell you guys: follow me on TG, follow me on X. It's extremely important, because if you want to get alpha before the alpha, that is the best place to go to. And download Bullx. If you don't have it yet, download TG, set up those bots that I mentioned, and you guys should be pretty good to go. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.